Okay, well, it might just be you and me, Stephanie, so I'm going to get started with this, and I promise to, I am recording it, so I will be able to pass it on to anyone else who does want to listen to this. I do thank everyone for the questions and topics that they sent in. This presentation is based on that. I am going to be monitoring the questions, so if you have any questions for me, please ask them, and I will try to keep my eye on that. And so let's get started. Bear with me, I haven't done this in a while. So, okay, so I guess I'm off the screen now. Well, that's fine. So the first question that I got from everyone is, were companies hiring? And what I hear from my network, from my friends, is that yes, companies are hiring. I have colleagues telling me that their clients have just been hired for positions just in the last few weeks. I also know recruiters who are hiring, putting out jobs on lists that I subscribe to. I belong to a bunch of different groups online, Facebook and LinkedIn, etc. So I see people there and I see jobs that they're posting. So the one thing that I wanted to mention is that if you're seriously looking for a job, it's really important to be proactive, to follow companies and follow recruiters, and try to get in touch with them. And I'll tell you a little bit of how to do that as we move on. So the three areas that we're going to talk about today is using social media for your job search, how to look for a job, just the job search strategies, and some ways to sort of show your value and get attention by employers. So first, let's just social media. This is primarily about LinkedIn settings that you can use to help you get a job. There are the 5 that I have listed here: the profile visibility off LinkedIn, the Microsoft Word, sharing your information and letting recruiters know that you're open, and signaling your interest to recruiters. So I just want to move my browser over here. Can you see this on the screen? Can you just let me know? Yes, I'm frozen. Okay, so it's not frozen anymore. Okay, great. So I just want to show you on my profile the privacy settings that you would go into. So when you go here and you click on your settings and privacy, and you want to look at a few different areas. The first one is your profile visibility off of LinkedIn. Now you want to keep that on so that people can see your profile even if they're not on LinkedIn. They will be able to see your profile. So you want to make sure that you have that on, so people just searching for your name, your profile will come up. The next thing is Microsoft Word. You want to keep this off because if you've worked with me, we've spent a lot of time working on your LinkedIn profile, and you don't want other people lifting it. When Microsoft purchased LinkedIn, they added this section, and it's supposed to be for LinkedIn users to get inspiration from profiles that they think look good to them, people in positions they're targeting, etc. And this was sort of feeding that information to them. So you want to say no, that you're not allowing them to share your information, and that way you can avoid that. People do still lift occasionally, but this way you're saying, yeah, here you go. So you want to keep that on no. The next thing about people seeing your LinkedIn activity, I'm sure that I've mentioned it to everyone that I've worked with, but obviously you want to keep this off if you are employed and looking for a job confidentially, you don't want people to see you making changes on your profile. So that's something that you probably already know. Now, when you go down just a little bit further, the job seeking preferences, there's a few things here, two things in particular. This one is letting recruiters know that you're open to opportunities that most people know about, and they go on there and they click on that. Yes, obviously mine is off because I'm not looking for a job. But, obviously keep that on. Now, LinkedIn says that they cannot guarantee that a recruiter from your company won't see that you're looking, but they do, I believe it's numbers and not letters that they attach to recruiters and the company. So if you're working for ABC company, ABC recruiters will not be seeing your profile. I mean, that's the idea behind it. There's no guarantee, but it's something to maybe take a chance with. So here, this is something that I just learned about within the last year. I think it's a fairly new thing that they have. And this is something where you can signal your interest to recruiters of companies that you're interested in working for. So if you're following, I don't know, Microsoft on LinkedIn, and you set up job alerts for Microsoft, if someone from Microsoft recruiter is looking for someone, they will get an alert that you're interested in them. So it's, even more than just, I'm looking for opportunities, but I'm looking for opportunities with your company. So those are things that, easy ways for you to, this is sort of a passive way to just increase your chances of getting found. So the next thing I want to talk about is staying in front of your connections. So you can do that in a lot of ways. One thing that's very easy to do is to share status updates. So, you share a status update and it goes out to your connections, keeps you in mind. You can share things that are of interest to people in your industry, things that you're doing, things that you've written, etc. And I'm talking here about a content aggregator. There are lots of them out there. I do use Feedly. I believe they have a free version of it. I have a paid version, but and when you use this, you can choose areas that you're interested in. You can choose, say, you want articles from, the Washington Post and the New York Times, and you're interested in politics, so you want to read The Hill and things like that. You can set so that you will get those articles from those people or articles on certain topics. For example, I follow career information. And that will give you a plentiful things, coming to you, so you don't have to be out online, looking for things that you want to share with people. You can also write articles, and share your expertise. So, you can do that on LinkedIn, if you have a site with a blog, etc. I'm going to talk a little bit more about where you can write articles a little bit. So you can also engage with people, go into groups in your industry, comment on things that other people have posted, things that you think are that you see in your feed that are in your industry or written and posted by people that you would like to know. It's a great way to start, commenting on the things that they're posting. And that's a great way to keep up your engagement on LinkedIn, because it shouldn't be just a set it and forget it as far as that goes. So going on, so social media automation, you can do this in a few different ways where you can set things up to go out. You can upload, you can create spreadsheets and upload them on Hootsuite. You can send out scheduled posts on Social Sprout. Actually, it's Sprout Social. I always get their name wrong. So let me just change that right here. Oh, guess I can't. Okay, so it's Sprout Social. And then there's also something called Buffer, and you can share to your LinkedIn profile as a status update. You can share on Twitter. You can share in a lot of different areas. I used to use Hootsuite. I now use Sprout Social. Here is an example of, let's see, of how it looks. It's the dashboard, and then I want to see my publishing. So mine is kind of sparse right now. Sorry, I'm not sure why the posts aren't showing up here. Anyway, it's very easy to use, and you can set things up for different days and make sure that you're always present on social media. So that's just a way to automate things and make it a little bit easier so that you don't have to be online all the time. Now, as far as connecting with recruiters, there are a lot of ways that you can do that. You can do it through LinkedIn company pages. You can follow recruiters on LinkedIn. You can connect with them. If you follow them, a lot of times recruiters I know post jobs. They post jobs on LinkedIn all the time. I used to be a recruiter, and since I'm in the business, I follow a lot of them, and I see jobs on LinkedIn. A lot of companies post jobs on their LinkedIn company pages. And again, you can also connect with recruiters. It's always a good way to, find out if there's jobs coming up on the horizon, knowing people. Facebook, company pages. I don't know of anyone in particular right now, but I used to know a bunch of recruiters at Diageo, and they hung out on the Facebook page and they would engage with people. I do know that companies do post jobs on their Facebook pages. Twitter, you can follow recruiters on Twitter and you can engage with them. It's a very easy way. Another place where recruiters often share jobs is on Twitter. And it's certainly easy for you to just tweet to them if you have a question or you want to engage with them about the company or about a job. And I will tell you that although social media seems sort of distant to some people, I have longtime close friends that I met on LinkedIn and that I've met on Twitter. So there is something to be said for having these connections and ways to connect with recruiters. Obviously you have your list of target companies and start following the companies on LinkedIn, following them on Facebook, etc. And of course, set up job alerts for them. Okay, so just a few things here about looking for a job during this sort of crisis that we're in right now. So networking virtually, social media is a great way to network virtually. We were just talking about that, engaging with people on social media. Zoom is a great way to meet people. If you meet someone on social media and, obviously you're not able to go out and have lunch with them, but you can use Zoom. They do have a free version. I believe it's, the meetings can only go for 45 minutes, but, it's free. Virtual meetings, Meetup. There are a lot of meetups that are now going virtual and they're having meetings that way, and they're using platforms like Zoom so that people can chit chat and meet each other. My husband belongs to a couple of them that he went to pretty regularly, and they're now doing virtual meetups. Alumni associations. The alumni associations, they have LinkedIn groups, they have Facebook groups. I was looking at, I got my master's from Fairfield University, and I was looking at them earlier, and they have chapters, Facebook chapters for where you can converse with people. So, yes, it's there, you can't go out to events, and it's certainly more challenging. But if you, think about it and put your mind to it, there are certainly things that you can do. So getting in front of hiring managers, this is pretty much the same as it would be in any other time. You have your list of target employers, you find out who in your family and friends, etc., know someone at the target employer. You can do a search for people who meet hiring managers, people who might be your boss or in your department, and look for people that maybe went to the same college or university that you did. People are, usually it's very easy to connect with someone if you're both alumni of the same university. Alumni, I know that, I'm not sure, I'm guessing they're not in their offices right now, but they are something to think of to make introductions to people at companies that you're interested in. I have my alumni associations occasionally contacting me to make an introduction for someone or to give them some information, what it's like to work as a writer or something, because I used to do that in another life. Okay, so showing your value, you want to really stand out from all the other candidates that are out there. And there are a lot of ways to do it beyond just putting up your resume. So one thing you can do is, I think of this as sort of becoming a thought leader. So you can share what you read, you can share what you know, and you can share what you think. So sharing what you read is something where content aggregators like Feedly can come in. If you're sharing good information, other people will comment on it, and you can get some sort of attention on LinkedIn that way. I will give you a tip when you're posting that, you want to talk a little bit about it in the status, and then you want to post the link to the article in the comments because that goes over better with the LinkedIn algorithm, because you're not necessarily trying to take people off of LinkedIn. So you can share what you know. You can write LinkedIn blogs. Most of the clients I work with, I know, could easily write posts on what they know and share it. You can write for Medium. You can write for Thrive Global. I'm not sure if Medium is free. If the free version doesn't let you write for them, they have a very inexpensive monthly membership. I believe it's less than $10. You can write for Thrive Global for free. Become a contributor with them. And YouTube, YouTube is great because you can share your personality there and talk about things and maybe even create a little video sort of resume to show people if you're not going to be meeting them in person. Just something else that you can use that it's free. And then sharing what you think is, joining those LinkedIn groups and sharing, articles, sharing your ideas, going in there. If there's discussions going on, comment on the discussions, and just being active on LinkedIn. It not only helps keep you top of mind to people, it also raises your profile when you're active, when LinkedIn sees that you're active. And it's also when people if they look at your profile and they see inactivity, that's not really a very good thing either. So the final thing that I was asked about was the idea of having personal professional website. It can be very effective. It depends on the time you want to put into it. These are 3 that I'm aware of. About Me has a free version. Career Web Folios I'm aware of because one of the organizations that I'm on the board of is set up a program with them for us to offer them to our clients. And they did a lot of investigation into them, and it looks like a pretty interesting proposition. I think it's a little pricey, but I'm not exactly sure on the pricing. Wix is something. They have a free version also of Wix where you can set up your profile and share, on all the other places, social media. I wrote a new blog or whatever. And then the LinkedIn, that new feature section that's right right under the photo and your headline on your LinkedIn profile. You can share articles, you can share links to videos. I have videos that I've created up there, and you can certainly do that as well. So I'll just show you what some of these things look like. If I can just grab this, and I can't find my mouse. Here we go. Okay, so this is an About Me page. This is my old page. This is an old picture of me with my dogs. But this is something that's free for me to use. Has my information here. Wix has a free version where you can set it up. I understand that it's pretty easy. It's certainly not the best if you have a business, but for a personal / professional website, might work well. This is the other company that I was talking about. They are really geared towards executive portfolios. So, if you're wanting to invest in the money, you can, this might be something that would work for you. I just wanted to share the resources because people don't even, a lot of people just are not aware of what's out there. So we went through this pretty quickly because we're so few here. And oh, I'm sorry. One more thing I just want to mention is, now is the time more than ever to manage your expectations. It's hard to remember, but hiring managers are not on your schedule. They're not on the recruiter schedule either. One of the reasons I moved from recruiting into resume writing, although recruiting is a lot of fun, when you're able to place someone, it's very gratifying. Recruiters, you have to remember, are kind of stuck. They work for the company, but they're working with the candidates, and they want to place the candidates, but they're on the hiring manager's schedule. I would submit something, a candidate, a great candidate, and I would wait for a couple of weeks because the hiring managers were busy. And now that they're dealing with so many other things and people are working from home, that things I expect are going to take longer. So, do follow up, don't stalk, stay in touch with people, and until they say no, you can keep checking with them, just not every day or even every week.